Hey, how's it going guys? Nate here, and it just hit me that this video will be releasing upon Christmas Eve. So, Merry Christmas to you guys. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, I don't know, worship the devil, whatever you do and are excited about, I hope the task falls easy upon you guys. Anyway, on with the video. So, recently, as of about a week ago, Activision and Raven introduced supply drops into Modern Warfare Remastered. And to absolutely nobody's surprise, such a decision ruffled many feathers, if you will, including my own. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So as I'm sure most of us are aware by now, supply drops in the Call of Duty franchise were introduced in Advanced Warfare at launch. And the way the mechanic worked initially was after playing a certain amount of hours or leveling up to a specific milestone, one would earn a supply drop, which when opened would grant the player a specific item that could range between anything from cosmetic attire for your character to improved variants of weapons. Now, when this mechanic was first announced to be coming to Advanced Warfare, many people inquired to the developers, asking if one would be able to purchase them using real-life currency, to which the developers very clearly said no. They made it absolutely apparent that they recognized allowing the player to just flat out buy supply drops would make the RNG system very much pay to win. They knew many of the weapon variants exclusive to supply drops were extremely good in comparison to their vanilla counterparts, and allowing someone to pay significant sums of real-life currency for a better chance at getting these overpowered weapons was a little bit P2W. Alas, a few months after Advanced Warfare's launch, however, the developers experienced a bit of what could be called a change of heart, if you will, and decided to not only make supply drops purchasable, but also made it so that supply drops purchased with real-life money actually yielded a higher chance at earning those overpowered weapon variants I mentioned earlier. So rather understandably, much of the community was a little bit pissed off. I mean, people felt lied to, because they were, and it seemed like Activision basically manipulated their own player base for just a few extra bucks. But let's fast forward to Black Ops 3, and lo and behold, despite public outcry, supply drops were brought back into the game. However, unlike Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3 supply drops were limited to include just cosmetic items only. You couldn't get any overpowered weapons from them, you could still buy them with real-life currency, but they didn't have much of an impact on the gameplay itself. It was all cosmetics, clothes for your character, call signs, camouflages for your gun, nothing that affected the game itself. Well, that brief flirtation of decency lasted about 20 minutes, as Black Ops 3 soon introduced a variety of weapons exclusively obtainable via supply drops. How lovely. And that's where we're left off here. Infinite Warfare has just released with purchasable supply drops available at launch containing superior variants of weapons, and CoD 4 appears poised to suffer the same fate. Now, currently, Call of Duty 4 supply drops are limited to exclusively contain cosmetic equipment and do not offer any sort of weapons. But again, Black Ops 3 made the same promise initially and broke it shortly afterward, so we're gonna have to see how long this lasts. And what seems particularly deceitful about how the way supply drops were added into the Modern Warfare Remaster is how it seems like Activision purposely waited a couple of months after the game's launch and purposely made no mention about their integration until it was very much too late and so many people had already purchased the game. You know, pre-release, we heard no mention of supply drops by Activision. They never mentioned those being integrated into the Call of Duty 4 Remaster. At launch, and through the first few weeks and the first couple of months, there was no sign of supply drops whatsoever, so people thought they wouldn't be in the game, and as a result, more people purchased it. You know, if Activision made it clear that supply drops would be in the CoD 4 Remaster, they risked losing sales. People didn't like the mechanic, and it would reflect very badly upon them. So what I'm gathering they did here is they purposely waited a couple of months to add them in, so that way, by the time they integrated them, most of the people have already purchased the game, and while they'll feel a little bit deceived or lied to, Activision probably doesn't care too much about that anyway. They've made their money, and now they're probably going to cash in a little bit more with these supply drops. Now, perhaps I am wrong here. Perhaps Activision really did have zero intention of adding supply drops into the game until very recently, but that doesn't exactly make it much better. People were still deceived into believing that supply drops wouldn't be a thing into this game. And they just seem so rather contradictory to what this remaster was all about. Raven had made a point of keeping MWR as close to the original as possible, even going so far as to leaving in the overpowered weapons and perks just to preserve that same CoD 4 gameplay feel. And the addition of supply drops just reflects the exact opposite of that sentiment. They are arguably the most disliked mechanic of the entire Call of Duty franchise, possibly sharing that seat with Exo Movement, but I digress. It's obvious that this decision was made in the interest of money over the satisfaction of Activision's consumer base, and you can't exactly blame them for that here. That's what this whole system is all about. Businesses are made to make money, and as a byproduct satisfy their customers, but that it doesn't exactly seem that's inherently what's going on here. It seems like the consumer base is definitely getting the short end of the stick in this instance. Anyway, I've been rambling on about my dissatisfaction for the past 5 minutes here. I do want to make it very clear that I do thoroughly enjoy the Call of Duty 4 Remaster. I played it more than any COD since Black Ops 2, and I've been having a load of fun with it so far. And that's why I feel so passionate about this subject. I really don't want them to ruin it with these supply drops. We'll just have to wait and see if that's what happens. But again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave a like down below. That does support the channel, or at least I think it does. I don't exactly know. Nobody does. YouTube has this thing where they like to not communicate with their partners, and they like to not answer questions. So leave a like. Maybe that does something good. I don't exactly know. I think comments also have something to do with getting your videos out there. I don't know. YouTube's not giving us a lot to work with. But anyway, guys, again, I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Peace out, everyone.